What's going on, people? It's your man the YB back once again. Big shout out to my doggy half Irish Dan for coming through and boosting up the coin. So we got a bit of a different one for you, man, right now. But before that, I've got someone who wants to say something. I got off the blower to Diddy, pause, and he got a song for you, man. We wish you a Diddy Christmas, we wish you a Diddy Christmas, we wish you a Diddy Christmas and a happy new butthole. Good tidings Diddy brings to 3 of his down low kings. He wishes you a happy Christmas and a happy new balloon knot. Bash! I cooked that one for you, man, you best believe it. Shout out to Diddy and his 3 down low kings, you best believe it. Anywho, like I said, we got a different investigation for you, man, right now. You've seen the title. You've seen the thumbnail. Ooh. After now Fury got his head boxed off again, who is the biggest bum, the stiffest bum, the most useless bum of Britain? Oh, IB, you never did this, you never did that. I don't need to do none of them things, people, to tell you. This place here, this island, they call Britain, is full of bums in the boxing game. That's the bottom line. YB, how can you say that? I'll tell you how I can say that. Not one of these dudes went spark out on their back. Not one of them, people. Not one of them. Fury twice. He had 2 cracks at it. Okay, everyone can make a mistake the first time, right? Everyone can make a mistake the first time. Whatever. And what gets me is the fact that both of these 2 cats almost went through a spiritual awakening. Because after the first fight, they was obviously both bamboozled and shocked. And they all both immediately said afterwards, "Oh, I'll knock him out." Fury was talking about, "I'm getting him, I've got to knock him out." And Big Meech, AJ was talking about, "Oh man, you know, I came up with the gangsters and I didn't watch boxing. I'm going to go Big Meech on his ass." That's what he said, for sure. Not my, "Oh, maybe you joke too much." That's actually what he said, people. He was talking about gangsters, Larry Hoover, Big Meech, all the other dusties out there. That's what he was talking about. Who here saw any Big Meech in there? Who here saw a metaphorical Big Meech in that performance? Both of them were stinkers from AJ. Didn't do nothing. So I'm afraid to say, people, we're at that point now when you don't I'm tired of this boxing rubbish. I really am. I'm tired of the whole point system. I'm tired of the whole, it went 12 rounds. And Fury knows better than anyone. Fury said, Fury came out, his big claim to fame was taking the piss out of David Haye. Yeah, David Haye was happy to lose on points, and he was. Couldn't wait to lose on points against Vlad. He had no ambition. So Fury knows what's right and wrong. In fact, I should really get that video up for you, man, right now. This was a classic, to be fair. Tyson Fury versus David Littletoe Haye. Ringside, I think it was called. This was an old-time classic, this one here. I can't play it, though. I can, actually. I can do the audio still. This is a bit long. It wasn't that long, this one, I don't think. Eventually they get together. It must be here. No, that's not it. No, they should be in the studio together. At some point they're in the studio together. I'm sure they are. Here we go. Bash. It must start here. This must be where it is, folks. Let's listen to some of these bars from Fury.
I think it's going to be a great year for British sport.
Biggest British heavyweight fight for many, many years. How's it feel sitting up close next to each other now?
It's up close and personal, this, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Feels good, you know. We've waited 20 years for it.
Surprised at it. Where he gets his confidence from, I don't know, but he's got it from somewhere. So, a guy who truly believes in himself is a more effective person than someone who doesn't. Even if the confidence is false confidence. For instance, I could be.
Sorry, I've just seen that flash up and it's pissed me off. David Haye, world champion. He wasn't WBA heavyweight champion. He was just the regular bum of the month, like Shah was. And Pulev is now 50-year-old Pulev. Come on, people. You can't be heavyweight champion. It means something. At the time, it was Vlad, and you got really boxed off by Vlad. So why are you lying for? Trying to pump him up. He was no good. David Haye was no good. He was soft on the inside. He had a soft, jammy centre. Jammy, creamy centre on the inside. Stop giving people accolades. I don't want to hear about, "Oh, this guy's Fury was great," but greatness, yeah. For you slow cats out there, it's meant to be revered. It's not something everyone just turns up. You don't just nick a belt off a bum, a vacant belt, and be called great. Billy Joe Saunders was great. Was I don't think he was, actually, to tell the truth. He was another bum of Britain. Top level bum of Britain. Nicking vacant belts. And I agree, listen, they've done more than I've done in my life, but greatness is a certain thing. David Haye was not great, and he wasn't a champion either, in a heavyweight at least. Yeah? Fury wasn't great either. He's the okay, listen, I'll give Fury his fair accolades. He's the basketball slayer. Yeah? If you've got people, if LeBron James wants to come into boxing, there's no doubt at all that Tyson Fury probably have a go on him. I'll give him that credit. He can slay any basketball player out there. He can't deal with the boxers. Even little boxers at that. That's what he can't do.
He's a more effective person than someone who doesn't. Even if the confidence is false confidence. For instance, I could be confident I could beat Usain Bolt in a 100-metre dash. Whether I can do it or not is irrelevant. But
this guy David Haye love hearing himself speak, doesn't he? Just yapping on, man. This is a typical. What's the word? This is a characteristic of like cats. They love hearing themselves speak, and here we are. The YB sit here on Christmas Day yapping. That's it. That's a curse of the light skin man. Love to talk a whole bunch. Ben Quick, I love to talk. Can't do nothing in there. Useless.
I could do a lie detector and say, okay, 100% I'm the beat him, and I'll be telling the truth. But it doesn't mean I can physically do it. That's the kind of situation I see with Tyson.
For someone of your personality, you were quiet today in the press conference. Tyson, anything but. You wanted to take it over.
You know, when I get the mic, when I'm there, no one can talk. Nobody can out-talk me, especially not boxers. When it comes to talking, there's only one man who can do that, and that's Tyson Fury.
Your attitude, David, seems to be... I've seen this all before. I've been there, done it.
I have. It's not new to me. This whole situation, the whole sort of circus act, it's not new.
Well, it was new to you, David Big Toe. It was new. That's why you bungled the fight. You didn't want it. Again, YB, you keep pointing at light skins. Why didn't David Haye get in there? This is exactly what I'm making people. I'm tired of it now. Particularly light skinned cats. This sums it up. David Haye sums it up. Yeah? Big I Am, world champion allegedly. And Tyson Fury at the time was just a hype job. In particular at the time, he's a hype job now, but even then he was a proper hype job then, hadn't done nothing at all. And you bungled it, because you were scared to death. I do believe that, legitimately. I do believe David Haye was scared to death of Tyson Fury for whatever reason. He saw a big man, and he was shook. That's the truth. He didn't even want to get in there and test his mettle. It's embarrassing, honestly.
Yeah, I've been there before. I've had big world title fights, pay-per-view fights. Since 2007, all of my fights have been either pay-per-view or subscription-based. So it's not a new situation for me. You know, I've been around the block. I've seen it. I've done it, and this time is no different.
Is it a circus act or not? You believe in yourself.
Listen, I wouldn't be here if I didn't believe in myself. If I didn't believe I could beat this man next to me 2,000,000%, I wouldn't have even took this fight. I believe I can not only beat David Haye, but do it in style, and that's what I intend to do. Do it in style. He says I won't be able to hit him. Well, I beg to differ. A lot of people hit David Haye, and I'm going to be one of them people.
Can you tell me something? Why, when we were at the presser, you refused to do a face-off, the traditional face-off?
Because I'm not interested in anything conventional, traditional. Doesn't appeal to me. Doesn't. There's too many people done it before. Same thing every time a boxers get together. Let's face off and be tough. Stare each other in the eyes and say, I'm tougher than you. If you look away, I'm the winner. Who's interested in that? Because I really ain't.
Can you look at him now in the eyes?
No, because he scares me. And just to look at his eyes scares me. No, because he scares me. Who's interested in that? Because I can say,
I say I could see in the Wayne, I can see that in David.
I've got this guy's number. Tell you, and I've told a lot of people before a lot of different things, I've got this guy's number, for sure. 1,000,000%. Listen, people can say what they want about me. I'm slow, fat, ugly, can't talk, can't punch, can't box, get put over by cruiserweights. Well, I proved everyone wrong 21 times before, you know. He says I've never been at this level before. Agreed, I haven't been at this level before, but this is all new to me because it's my time now, and I will be taking over from after this fight. It'll all be on pay-per-view. They'll all be big events.
What does he mean, he's got your number? Does he mean he's going to beat you like Carl Thompson beat you or Vladimir Klitschko did?
What I think he believes is he's got my number in terms of he can land punches when he wants to, he can rough me up, he's bigger, he's stronger, he can hit harder, and he's just a better athlete, better human being. And that's, you know, that's...
Big Toe, in the end, he was. That's the truth. The same way I believe Tyson Fury shouldn't have been champion because he ducked the rematch. When people duck fights, if I was in charge of things, you'd have a lost spark out there. I'm gonna call it a spade spade here. David Haye's a loss to Tyson Fury. He bungled it. He didn't book no. He said, "Oh, I hurt my leg," but yet you were back in the ring 4 years later against Tony Bellew. Got punched up again twice. So he wasn't that sick, right? If he was that sick in 2013, you couldn't have ever fought Tony Bellew 4 or 5 years later. So stop playing with Big Toe.
Us having someone's number, I personally disagree with him. I think he'll be getting hit with shots he can't see. I think the shots he thinks he'll land on sparring partners and on his prior opponents won't land on me, because I've watched his fight. So the fights, he hasn't done anything in any fight so far that'll work against him. Maybe he's working on something with his coach and uncle in the backgrounds that we haven't seen yet in the ring. Because if he does what he's done already, there's no way this fight goes 4 or 5 rounds.
Well, nobody thought I could do southpaw. I never showed that before, did I?
Martin Rogan.
But I did, all the way through a fight. Never been done. I never done.
Martin Rogan, man. Southpaw. What happened to that against Usyk, though? Yeah? Going southpaw versus southpaw might have been a way to open up the straight confrontation. It's harder to walk down a southpaw than it is spark intermeshing. Orthodox intermeshes. Southpaw intermeshes. All this talk about Martin Rogan was stiff as a board. Oh, who was Martin Rogan? Most of us, I don't even know. I can't even put a face to Martin Rogan's name. Let's have a look at him. I bet he was a big stiff oaf. A bulbous oaf. Yeah? Martin Rogan. Boxer. It doesn't even come up on YouTube, on Google, man. Let's have a look at this cat here. Come on, man. He looks quite hard, but he looks... Come on. You could just tell. This ain't no elite type of dude, man, is it? Come on now. It's not. A big stiff dude. Yeah? Solid, probably hard as nails, but he's just... Come on. There's levels to this game. Martin Rogan you turn southpaw with. Where was the southpaw with the little midget from the Ukraine, the plumber? Yeah? Where was that?
Done it before, so, you know,
Explain
what's
yourself.
the difference in this fight?
Explain yourself. You said you had his number. What is it? Explain it to us. What do you
I've got
see?
what it takes to beat him. To beat David Haye, you've got to be game, you've got to be strong, and you've got to be willing. Listen, it doesn't come down to boxing and technique and all that. I'm knocking him out for sure. I'm going to get on top of him. I don't even care about giving a game plan away. I want to fight with this guy, yeah? I'm going to take him somewhere he's never been before, somewhere where he doesn't like going because he's a pretty boy, and I'm going to chop him up and rip his body to bits and rip his face. With inside shots, I'm going to lean all over him, 270 pounds, pushing me around. Listen, he can run, but he can't hide. He might be a sniper fighter, like you said, but snipers fight from a mile away. We've got a 20-foot boxing ring, and that, to me, is in front of me. And if you're in front of me, you're in big trouble. Cold, hard, lonely place in that boxing ring with me, for sure.
You smile.
These were some of the best bars of all time, certainly from Tyson Fury. This one, along with the plumber. We'll get that one up as well. Tony, you plumber from Liverpool. And you and you grind a lover, Tony Bellew. Oh, that's mad. Those are my... Honestly, I'm trying to think of more in recent times, at least. You know what? I'd even put these particular bars. It's a bit like Dave Allen's one from the other day I played. I like the descriptive ones. Mike Tyson saying, "Oh, I'll eat your kids" and that. It's just a bit stupid. But when you're sitting in there breaking it down, 280 pounds weighing all over you. Dave Allen was saying to Johnny Fisher in round 4. We're gonna get in a clinch, and I'm gonna hear you breathing heavy in my ear. That kind of stuff. That's proper bars. That is. You can't. It's not just a whole whoop-de-whoop. Everyone's shouting and screaming, "I'm knocking you out" or whatever. They're proper. I don't know what to say. This descriptive.
And say little again.
I don't know, I hear him saying he's going to do this and rough me up. The only thing I can take from that is he's going to do the complete opposite and try and outbox me. That's the only thing that sounds like when someone says they're going to go.
Obviously not David Big Toe, because if you thought that, you'd have got in there with him. You wouldn't have bungled it. And you and Chisora sat on Twitter laughing, saying, "Oh yeah, me and Chisora are going to end your career because we're not going to fight you." It's like, okay, mate, you're on a medal. Again, typical corny light-skin antics. Oh, let's sit on Twitter and I've pulled out and now... Because at the time, Fury came out depressed. When Haye bungled it and bottled it, Fury came out and said, "I'm depressed. I'm supposed to have this big fight," and Haye's bottled it. And Haye was sitting on Twitter, caning the typing. It's like, "What are you doing, man? Get in there. What's wrong with this guy?" I don't understand. He was shook to death of Tyson Fury. He really was. Shook to death. And to be fair, listen, I think Tyson Fury probably beats AJ, if I'm honest. AJ ain't got the oomph. And Fury would keep AJ busy and he'd be scared to throw, I believe. It's a good fight. And at this point, it's the biggest bum of Britain battle. Yeah? The battle of the biggest bum of Britain. So it's worth watching now. It wouldn't have made sense. If Fury had managed to beat Usyk here, it'd have been like, what's the point in that? Now it's legitimate. They're both at the same level. And at least to AJ, he went out on his back. That kind of... Well, it could go either way. AJ could come back after the Dubois fight and be... I mean, if I was to bet, he probably will be more shot than he's ever been shot. But there's a flip side to it. Once you've had your egg cracked, you know then, you've been there before. So you can go one way or the other. You either get super scared and never want to go there again, or you say, you know what, it wasn't that bad. And actually, at least the fans gave me some revere for having half a go. AJ had half a go. AJ had more of a go than Fury did against Usyk. Yeah. AJ could have easily. AJ did better in the Dubois fight than Ruiz won, for example. Ruiz won, he didn't come forward ever again. He got carried away with Dubois, but still, he had half a go, man. It's more than Fury can say. And Fury was the one, as you've just heard, who said the bars. 280 pounds of inside fightingness. Yeah, I'm taking you to a place you don't want to be. I'm not interested about the game plan. I'm coming right in there on you. So Fury knows what to do. And there's also some bars about the Vlad situation. About him bottling it.
And do this and do that, because if he tries to do that, try and keep doing it in that range.
Derek, inside fighter, 6'9", anybody like me.
Like that, he ended up getting
I
sparked.
ain't no Chisora though, I can fight on the inside.
Range too fast. He tries to more, no matter what greatest chin in the world, so maybe he's going to try and box me like he did Martin Rogan and try and keep it at southpaw or do something. But even no matter what he does, if he tries to box me long, I'm faster, I'm quicker, I can get in that range too fast. He tries to more with me. You know, Chisora tried that, he ended up getting sparked.
I ain't no Chisora though, I can fight on the inside. Derek Chisora can't. You've never fought anybody like me. You've never fought a big inside fighter, and I'm one big inside fighter. 6'9", 205 centimetres of inside fightingness, and I know what it takes to fight inside. I can throw the uppercuts, the body shots, everything. Vladimir Klitschko ain't got a patch on me, and he beat you. Listen.
Fury can't. The thing is, though, all due respect, all seriousness, he can't fight on the inside at all. He can't fight on the inside at all. Name me a fight Fury fought on the inside. Don't talk about 2 either. That was all long, straights. 1, 2, maybe a 3 on the end. There was no actual proper inside fighting. The one time he tried it was Cunningham. It was real sloppy. He can't fight for Toffee on the inside, man. He can't. He doesn't know what to do when he's got his hands up like that. He's like, ooh.
I can knock Vladimir Klitschko into next week. Vladimir's an easier fight for me than this guy.
I can beat Usain Bolt in 100 metres.
But you can't, that's the only reason.
Why not? Why can't I?
Because
I believe I can do it. I believe I can do it.
Because it's disbelief.
Aha, finally we hit the nail on the head.
You can't do it, but I can.
So you can beat Usain Bolt as well, yeah?
No, I can beat you, though. I don't need to beat Usain Bolt, do I?
But you believe you can do it deep down in your heart. You believe you can do it, yeah?
I don't need to be able to beat Usain Bolt, but I can beat you in a fight, for sure.
Okay, and Vladimir Klitschko and everybody, yeah?
I've never met a man I couldn't beat.
David Price beat you in the amateurs.
Oh, what's an amateur? What's an
It's
amateur?
a fight, it's a boxing match.
Did you
with
not
gloves
swallow
on.
against Solis in the
No, I
World
didn't swallow against
Championship?
Solis. In the World Championship finals.
David.
You lost against David Price in the amateurs.
David Price is no good.
He beat you in the amateurs. Why didn't you beat him? Why didn't you knock him out?
David.
Why didn't you knock Solis
No,
out?
I'm asking
Why
you a
did you
question.
swallow?
Easy boys, David. Do you recognise? Do you
swallowed
reckon
against
David?
Thompson and you swallowed against Vlad, and you will swallow, or you swallow your teeth against me anyway.
Do you recognise yourself? David, do you recognise yourself in this guy here?
Not one bit. Not even the remote.
You wouldn't find that coming up.
Do you find him amusing?
He's funny. You can't do anything but laugh.
How could he find a resemblance?
No. What I'm saying is, you were the young guy coming up, you know, against.
I was realistic. I know.
Like, did the public forget about this fight? When my guy said he was go back, we don't have to go back 25 years. Let's just go back a couple of years. When my guy said he was going to knock out Vladimir Klitschko, did the public forget about this fight? I'm going to knock him out. I'm going to rip his head off. It's on my T-shirt. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And go in the ring and do nothing. Come on. Let's not forget, this is the same David E. that was going to do so much to the Klitschkos, got his chance, had everybody in Britain, including myself, tuning in to watch him, and then he goes in and plays around after he can't get a few shots off in the first 3 or 4 rounds and decides, I'm going to lose on points because Vladimir don't usually beat people on points, so I can be one of those losers on points.
Dave, what's your reaction to the Klitschko performance?
He had his
now?
opportunity to fight Vladimir, and what did he do? He gave up the opportunity to come and fight me.
But what about you and Vladimir Klitschko?
Yeah.
How do you look back at it now?
It was a bad performance.
Yeah.
It wasn't good. You know, I underperformed. I believe I could have done better, and I didn't. It was one of them things.
Underperformed. You got your toes out, man. Let's call it a spade here. There's underperforming, and then there's getting your toe out, David. Yeah, don't confuse the two. You got your toe out, man. That's what you did. Anyway, the point of that video is to say to you that Fury, at the start of his career, he knew what was required. Yeah, and whether it's money or relative success over the last decade, he's forgotten it. And on that basis, bear in mind, he hasn't had. It's not like in the last 10 years since the Vlad fight. He's had loads of wars and he's kind of come to the end and he's over the hill. We've all seen people like Evander Holyfield over the hill, or James Toney over the hill, or Ali over the hill, and it's clear that they've put a big shift in, or Roy Jones over the hill. They put a big shift in for 10 years. And they've, obviously, everyone has to peak. No one goes up forever. Yeah. Fury never had that though. He'd do one fight a year at best, sometimes 8. In fact, there was the Wilder trilogy had 18 months between each fight. The first fight was, when was the first fight? The first fight was December 2018. The next fight was February 2020. The next fight was October or November 21. 18, more or less, probably an average of 16 months between fights. That's what isn't. 2 half decent fights against Wilder, 2 and 3. And what, you've peaked and now you don't want to get stuck in against a guy who can't punch. So Fury hasn't built the credit in my book to talk about greatness. What would have been great would have been having a go against Usyk and either losing on your back or winning. That would have been, even then I wouldn't say it was great. He'd be on the way there though. At this point in time, who can't go in there and lose on points to Usyk, if that makes sense? Everyone loses on points, more or less. Right? Who can't do that now? Chisora could lose on points to Usyk, no knockdowns. Chisora's obviously a hard guy, but come on. Yeah? Chisora, people say, I agree, Chisora, listen, whether AJ did a little better or a little worse, or Fury did a little better or a little worse, I'll tell you one thing for free, Usyk commanded more, Chisora commanded more respect. If you added up all the time that Usyk was respecting Chisora, it was a lot more than both AJ and Fury. And yeah, you can say, well, Usyk was maturing into heavyweight. Possible. But it's not like Chisora's the top level. There's a reason for that. Chisora has balls. He's crude, but he has balls. And you can't be considered great without balls, people, in this game. Or any game, any top sport. If you can't really dig in, obviously it's different. It's a combat sport, but we got to get rid of this, oh, he's great and he ain't done nothing. People are already saying about Opataya, oh, he's the greatest cruiserweight of all time and he's on the way. He ain't beat no one. Opataya's beat no one and he's booked to fight another stiff. Why isn't he unifying with Ramirez? Why is it a complete bum of the month again for Opataya? So I'm skeptical of Opataya. All these guys, do you know what I'm saying? They ain't shown nothing yet. So stop oh, he's a great fighter. Everyone, oh, he's a great fighter. No, great is Hall of Fame. And the Hall of Fame isn't this new age bullshit they give you. Where everyone who got a belt gets in the Hall of Fame. That's whack. There needs to be some substance to there. People shouldn't really, for Hall of Fame, what you notice is the fighters where there's a lot of debate on, they're the ones who shouldn't be in there. In the Hall of Fame, if that makes sense. There's fighters who you'll never hear one person debate whether they're Hall of Fame level. They're the ones who deserve it. The ones who, if you can sit there and have a debate about it, then they ain't made the cut. It should be undeniable. And AJ, Fury, it's pure deniability about their alleged greatness. Extremely, same as Vlad, I'll be honest, same as Vlad. A very weak era over the last 20 years. The era sucked. And the performances in their prime, relatively, AJ fought Usyk, 3 years ago now? He was like 32, 33. Prime of his career it should have been. And made a meal of it. Didn't have a go. Didn't leave it all out there. That's what I require now to call someone great. And on reflection, we all roasted Jared Anderson versus Bacoli. We all roasted Jared Anderson, yeah. But thinking about it, this kid here, being however old he is, 25 or whatever, in there with just a nasty individual. What he did in that fight. This is, for me, obviously he didn't win or he's not got a big resume, but this effort here was gargantuan from Jared Anderson. He didn't just look at people. AJ was a champion, unified champion. Andy Ruiz ain't no Martin Imard Bacoli, is he? When AJ got hit once from Ruiz, he shit himself for 2 fights. The rest of the first fight he shit himself, and the whole second fight he shit himself. Didn't want to exchange at all. Big 300-pound Mr. Blobby looking ass. Jared Anderson's in there with I don't know what you'd call him, a monster, seriously. Martin the Monster Bacoli, that's what his moniker should be. And Anderson, he got punched up, yeah, but he was having a go. He wasn't just running backwards and an accident waiting to happen. He was trying to make something happen. He was just in a bad dream, essentially. So let's watch this now. This is an example of trying to be great. Something that Fury and AJ, whether they're overpaid, hype jobs, prima donna, Instagram TikTokers or not, this is what was missing from their fights with Usyk. Bottom line. And Usyk can't punch like Bakoli. So if Jared Anderson can muster the fortitude to have half a go with Bakoli and get caught fighting, what's these man's excuses for? And the thing is, Anderson was the man who was outmatched in terms of size and power. Fury and AJ both outmatched Usyk in size and power. I can't believe Usyk's hitting them harder than they hit him. If that makes sense. So all this said, Usyk is clearly a great. He's clearly at this point, in 23 fights, it's almost unheard of. In 23 fights, he's done something great. He's no doubt a Hall of Famer. Is he the greatest of all time? I'll tell you this now. I said to my doggy, Catalina, earlier today, that it's unlikely, but if Usyk was to beat Dubois and Bakoli, he's the greatest of all time. Yeah? I don't think he'll fight Bakoli. Bakoli's got nothing to offer him. But if he was to beat Dubois and Bakoli, the rest of them, I'm not interested, really. Bakoli would deal. Zhang's got no cardio. Caballero, I think I got Caballero beating Zhang, to be honest. Caballero is similar to Parker, but punches harder. And I think Zhang will be goosed after 6 rounds. Anyway, so my point is, it's Dubois and Bakoli who are the serious ones now, in my book. In before Joe Parker boxes up. Nah, there's no way Joe Parker went live from death with Dillian White, man. Yeah, he's improved, but he ain't improved that much. Anyway, let's watch some of these clips now from this situation. I'm going to skip the first little bit. Oh, scrap it. It gets pretty nasty straight off the bat. So this is in round 1. See, look. Anderson's actually holding the centre of the ring here. He's not backing up. He's not running like Andy Ruiz. AJ versus Ruiz. Oh, he's fish food now. So that's when he gets knocked down for the first time in his career, which must be pretty shocking. Bearing in mind he was like a 2-1 favourite. He comes out fighting, look. He comes out swinging, man. Watch. Anderson throws a lead. Look, he's walking back to the middle of the ring. What, he trying to throw a check left hook? And I think it half lands, but Bakoli's lands as well. And it's just, look, he's right there. He's right. Just massive, and he plods forward. This is what you do with, I'm sorry, people. This is what you do with Usyk, man. Yeah, Usyk's feet are quicker, but Bakoli will be all over Usyk. What's Usyk going to do? He'll be all over him. He'll just plod forward. Oops. He'll plod forward, and Usyk's leg will get tired eventually. He'll be all over him like a rush, I believe. Anderson's trying to fight, man. He's goosed, but he's trying anything he can. Anyway, you just get the point. You can watch it yourself. It's worth watching. We slagged him off at the time, but on hindsight, that's what we require of these guys, man. AJ and that kind of spirit there. You know what, Usyk? You're slapping away. You're going to run around and move now. I'm sparking the mud now. We're fighting. Anyway, this video. Who is the biggest bum of Britain? How do we analyse this here? How do we analyse who is the biggest bum of Britain? Resume-wise, they both had similar fights against Usyk, to be honest. They both sucked. They were both stinkers. I'd say Fury, to be honest. Fury's done less. AJ dispatched Vlad, and that Vlad, by the way, I believe the Vlad that turned up to fight AJ, despite being a little bit older, Vlad's never been on the drink like that, or the sniff, so he's okay. That Vlad who turned up to fight AJ would have been the Vlad Fury got in the rematch that he ducked. That was the whole reason Vlad came back. He felt aggrieved that Fury robbed his belts and didn't get a rematch, and he was coming to show against AJ. So AJ had a better performance against Vlad. All the weird Fury homosexuals say things like, oh, maybe Fury broke Vlad, and that's what made him worse against AJ. That wasn't a break-in. We've seen fighters get broken before. That wasn't a break-in. You bored the pants off him, and Vlad executed the rematch clause immediately. He was gagging for that fight. He didn't break nothing. So AJ's got a better win over Vlad. So that kind of expunges Fury's that Vladimir Klitschko win. And all you've got here is Wilder and Dillian White. AJ did Dillian White in a similar fashion. In fact, AJ did Dillian White. Fury got a lucky punch on Dillian White and was running. The fight stunk. Honestly, that fight was rubbish until the lucky punch. AJ proper filled Dillian White in. Dillian White had nothing left. Yes, Dillian White had probably improved by 2022 from 2015, but that's here nor there. We're talking apples and pears here. I'm looking to separate both of them. Who is the biggest? We want to give this accolade now. That's what you must do. One of these two cats have earned the accolade of the biggest hype job TikToker bum of Britain. Who is it? So Vlad, that gives AJ 1 point. Dillian White, let's call it a 10-10 round. So they're both at 2-1 now. So it's 2-1 to AJ at this point in time. Then you've got the Wilder situation. Or the basketball player, he ducked AJ. And to be honest, at that point in time, looking at how Fury dealt with Wilder in the second fight, I think AJ at that point in time would have done something similar, to be honest. Obviously, we can't sit there and say that for sure, but Wilder ducked it. Wilder didn't duck Fury. He thought there was something sweet there. He knew Fury couldn't punch like that. You understand? In the meantime, though, the problem is AJ doesn't have the hype like Wilder does in terms of on his resume. Fury has the Deontay Wilder hype of that name. But what did that name mean after Joe Parker had a go on it? Joe Parker's what's important because he can't punch. And he boxed the head off Wilder. Wilder had nothing really to be too scared about, and he still was no good, useless. And Fury made a hash of it. He made a meal of it in the first fight. He made a meal of it in the third fight. Parker just went in there and boxed circles around him. So how good of a boxer is Fury? I'm going to be honest here. How good of a boxer is Fury when he had a 7-round stinker with Dillian White, or 6-round stinker? Proper stunk the place out that fight did. Both of them was useless. He wasn't piecing Dillian White up. AJ was all over Dillian White. Chisora again. Fury was slapping away, but he wasn't doing nothing. Haye put Chisora out 10 years ago. In Bongo, you lost. Oops. You lost to a 0-1. To be honest, I think I've come to the conclusion now. Against Mbongo, you lost and got put down and did nothing with a 10-1 first-time boxer, wrestler. Francis Mbongo. What did AJ do? Oops. And by the way, people, Ngannou fought AJ when he was on the up then, had his first fight, had momentum, had confidence. Arguably, AJ fought the better Ngannou. Oops. So that in itself, I think we've debunked it all now. The biggest bum of Britain has to be Tyson Fury on this basis. We have the only direct comparison we don't have is Deontay Wilder, and Wilder ducked it. So I got to say this, and even how you look at how AJ lost to Dubois. Number one, AJ fought Dubois, even though he thought he was going to win. He fought Dubois, number one. Fury will never fight Dubois. And I guess maybe I should hold comment to see who wins. If Fury beats AJ, or then it'd be easier to say who the biggest complete stiff, useless oaf bum of Britain is. Big for nothing bum of Britain. But at this point in time, before they fight, it's Tyson Fury all day and night, folks. He is crowned, especially when you consider AJ was somewhat pseudo humble. Fury was not a man born. You see you gap-toothed midget from the Ukraine. Yeah, he was. When someone gives it the talk, it's like McTapper. When someone talks so much and gets boxed up and starts crying about it, it does reduce them. That said, on balance, AJ was corny after the second fight of Usyk as well. Threw the belts out. I think it's a slight. I think you're being racial against me because you say I'm just big and strong. Well, you wasn't. To be fair, Usyk was giving you a compliment because you wasn't big and strong. You was big and useless. If AJ was crying about being called big and strong and he wants to be seen as intelligent, Usyk was gassing your ego up, man. Because if I'd have been there, I'd have said you wasn't big and strong. You was big and useless. You was big for nothing, man. That's the only part of big AJ was for nothing. Big for nothing looking ass. Yeah. So take your compliment. Take your ego boost from Usyk because you was useless in there, man. And these cats are crying as well. Never mind the fact they didn't go out on their back. Don't cry after people. Tyson Fury and AJ after Usyk too. Don't cry after losing, yeah. Oh, and you didn't go out on your back. You didn't leave it all out there. Don't do that because you had something left to give. You wasn't on your back. When you're on your back, fair play to Yard. Yard against Kovalev. He couldn't complain. He had nothing left. He was finished. At least you know then I had nothing left and I got beat by the better man. But these guys, like Tyson Fury said, these guys like losing on points because it was close and the robbery. It enables them to say robbery. It enables them to, if I'd have just done this, if one judge gives me this round and this judge gives me this round, I would have won anyway, so I might as well have won. No. Whereas if you go out on your back and dare to be great and dare to win, it's obvious if you lose, get stopped. So these guys aren't real greats. They roll the dice, man. They roll the dice. They roll the dice. That's what they do. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe, like off the bell, 100%. There's no doubt about this one, people. Stop it.